Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures. If you're just joining us, half of our heroes are working with Voski High Command in order to help the other half of our heroes, well, 1/3 of our heroes, technically. Asena is coming back from space in a ship that does not have the correct programming to land and will hopefully not explode. Gastone is sitting in Voski High Command trying to hang up on his video call, his Zoom conference that he opened up with Asena, in order to help John calculate an intercept route so that he can fly in a hover vehicle up to where they're going to be to teleport in and help them teleport out.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
And repairing it activated is having a really hard time.
Asena, is there anything you want to do before, as the countdown timer ticks down towards atmospheric contact?
I'll probably just mention something happened to Gastone. He left.
He's probably fine, Asena. The signal probably just broke up.
Hara's a real homie.
Roll deception.
17.
That's pretty good, actually.
I'll also ask Bear. Bear, you mentioned something you didn't want us to explode upon re-entry. Why would we explode?
We're traveling at several times the speed of sound. We're about to go from a complete vacuum to moving past air particles at over the speed of sound. During re-entry, this causes incredible amounts of friction, which causes a plasma field to generate around the vessel, which is normally deflected by gravitational repulsor fields and specially designed ceramic alloy tiles that can withstand heat and break off if necessary. Those features are not necessarily working right now. And furthermore, the angle of attack has to be precisely calculated. I am going to do my best. If we go in at too steep an angle, we are going to burn up in the air.
Maybe that repair unit activated was trying to tell me something.
Why? What did it say?
Something about plasma. Fixing plasma.
Okay, like what about plasma?
It's too late now. Don't worry about it.
Atmospheric contact. Now, the way that the atmosphere works is it's not like you're just and suddenly you hit it. It's very, very thin at the outer edges, and it gets thicker and thicker as you get closer to all the way down into, ground level. So when the computer notifies you that atmospheric contact has been established, Barakai goes to his controls and he makes a couple of adjustments. Now, I think chat gave him inspiration.
They did indeed.
Really? That's
To
cool.
the pilot, yeah.
They also healed your forehead a couple times.
They did. They did. I appreciate that. My forehead is feeling much better now.
Yeah, no forehead.
Barakai makes his first roll to maintain the correct angle of attack and to vector the deflector shields towards the front. Now, space is incredibly silent. You can hear the hull of the ship as it moves. It doesn't creak. This is a pretty sci-fi ship, but you can hear a sound passing through the hull of the ship. If the engines are on, you can hear the hum of the ship, but there's nothing outside of that. But as the ship, and you're in the cockpit, as it continues to move, and it's not angled down like this, it's more angled up like this, sort of hitting the underside first, where they've got all the shields deflected. And as it goes, you start to hear this faint, whistling sound, kind of like you'd hear on an airplane or in a really fast car. Very, very faint at first. And as you continue to proceed deeper into the atmosphere, the air, or it wasn't air before, but when you look outside of the cockpit, there's this shimmer as heat begins to build up. Gastone, back at high command, Lynn routes into you over the intercom. We've got atmosphere. Plasma is building up. Last chance for any communications before we go dark.
There's nothing else you need to know. Remember, look for the door and go in. No questions.
Copy that. All the engineers around you are transmitting, sending up as much telemetry as they can to help the craft adjust its angle of attack, its speed, etc., in order to make for optimal landing procedures. And then, Asena, you start to see flames licking at the outside, little jets of fire, and the ship begins to shake a little bit. The floor begins to hum.
Whoa.
Lynn looks over at Hara. You should probably sit down. Hara. Pfft. I'm a fucking dragon.
Don't tell me what to do.
Asena, are you just sort of at your gunner station holding on for dear life?
Yeah, I'm holding on.
Okay.
She's not going to make any sort of outwardly signals that she is afraid. But seeing the flames, she probably has some not like real flashbacks, but like flashbacks of the craft going down from her past, but like she couldn't remember that, but she's seen it through vision.
Right. It's sort of this overlaid association of the emotions, those two scenes connecting in her mind.
Right.
If we were filming this, it'd be her sitting there seeing the fires, and then there'd be like a flash to a frame of the jungle with the wreckage smeared all over the place at night. Yeah. Flashing here and there. Okay.
So she'll just hold on a little bit tighter.
All right. It takes almost 30 minutes for the craft to pass through the atmosphere. And as they go, you're receiving telemetry information, like a radio signal from the craft. It gets weaker and weaker, Gastone, until finally it breaks up entirely. And the Voski engineers nearby you will say, we're just tracking the plasma field now. We've got a calculated trajectory, but we're not getting any more nav information. The air around the craft is ionized. It's up to them now. What is Gastone doing from his position in the control center?
Wait, when they say that, they mean that's only going to be a problem until they actually get through the atmosphere, right?
Well, if they can slow down.
What do you mean?
The ionization is caused by the plasma buildup, which is caused by friction of the craft passing through the atmosphere. If they're able to slow down, burn off enough speed in the atmosphere using retro thrusters, then eventually they won't be moving so fast that they've got a plasma envelope around them, and they'll be fine. If they come in at too steep an angle, well, not being able to communicate with them won't be their problem.
Okay.
It'll be the least of their problems.
Okay, so instead of like telemetry and stuff like that, what are the chances we have like visuals? They gotta have some just giant ass long range telescopes or something. No,
there's no need for visual at this point. Like at this point, they wouldn't bother with visual. They would just be using radar, lidar, more sophisticated sensors.
So do we? So we have an idea of where they're going to be.
Yeah, you guys can still track. It's not perfect. They're no longer sending you like, hey, I'm here. It's like you had a GPS signal before, right? Where the ship was saying, I'm here. That's gone. Now, and it was also saying, according to my calculations, this is going to happen. Now, your ship doesn't have, or your base doesn't have those calculations coming in. All you have is the last information you got and the speed, fiery doom levels, and trajectory of the ship.
Okay, I'm caught up. Okay, so I would like to think by now at this point, John is in a ship.
Yeah, he's been en route for a while. Like
beautiful, love that. I would like to immediately talk to John.
Okay, the two of you have an open comm.
All right, John. Two things I didn't tell you that I should have before. One, okay, we no longer have a clear signal. I have a general vicinity that I'm going to need you to fly towards until you actually can see where the ship is going to be. But here's the first thing. Don't fly directly towards it, but I'm going to need you to kind of go wide and make a loop, because considering how fast this ship is going, you need to at least be keeping up with it in speed so you can dimension door back to the safe ship, because there's only a 500-foot range, right?
Yes, that's
correct.
Can
you do that?
I can do that.
Great. The only
I'm
other
pretty sure
thing,
I can do that.
I'll take it. The only other thing is, I'm just turning to one of those texts. Hey, that ship he has autopilot, right?
John, are you in? So the Voski were sending like a drop ship filled with a whole rescue team. Are you riding with that, or did you have your own vessel that you wanted?
I didn't want to interrupt, but my plan
Now's a good time to
make
set this
sure
up.
that either we brought like a smaller craft, a smaller light fast craft that was able to either autopilot or have a pilot with me that isn't me piloting that can then do the maneuver that Gastone is suggesting. So I'm good with either. If either the drop ship, if it's fast enough, drops off the rest of the rescue crew and then takes off with me, or if I had a lighter, faster craft, that would be my preference.
Okay, so here's the question, and this would have all again flashed back to this scene of you wouldn't hash this out with Casimir. Casimir would just say, give this man whatever he wants. You'd be running, a bunch of people would be running, flashing lights, all that jazz. So here's the question. Are you teleporting them back into your craft, or are you just teleporting them like to the ground?
Craft is better.
Whatever's safer.
Okay. Because
here's my plan, mate. I was going to dimension door onto the ship, stay with them until Hara's ready to pull the trigger on her dimension door, and both of us would go together.
Okay.
Or we would start shuttling people off, the two of us. Either way is fine.
So
we didn't plan for the former, so it's gonna have to be the latter. I didn't know Hara could do dimension door also.
Yeah, but the only caveat is dimension door can only take one person at a time, and there's 3 people on that ship, not including Hara. Hara can take one other person. I can go on there and take one other person. That means we can take Hara, Asena, and Manda, but that means we are leaving.
Bear.
But if you follow the ship's path, you can make another trip.
Unless it's going too fast.
I have an idea. I'm John fucking Carmichael. I have a plan to get this weird bear character out of there if necessary.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't mind tight places, he'll be okay.
Oh no.
Okay, no, and oh god. Okay, and fair enough. I guess you can get there, and then you can just tell Hara, okay, dimension door to that thing.
Hey, mate.
Yes.
Oh, no. After you're done, Gastone.
No, I was gonna say just because I assume she has to see where she's going, or know where she's going.
Just has to know. Doesn't have to see it.
Gotcha.
So, John.
Yeah.
Here's the trade-off.
Okay.
A 2-passenger vehicle is going to be the lightest and the fastest with the best chance of an early intercept.
Okay.
Let's see, you've got 1, 2, 3, a 6-passenger vehicle. They can still get you one that's fairly fast, but it won't be as nimble So a vessel capable of collecting everybody in it is going to be slightly less nimble than just like a 2-person little.
But can we cram upwards of the question? The 2-person vehicle, does that have autopilot, or does it have to be piloted?
It can be autopilot.
So, for instance, could I have Gastone either remotely pilot it or calculate the autopilot?
Now, if you want to have Gastone remotely pilot it, you could take the 6-person vehicle as well. And have him.
What I'm asking is that if we can have just me on the 2-person vehicle, would I and 4 others be able to cram into a 2-person vehicle?
Very not safely, but if Gastone's piloting and you don't need to work the controls, then yes, you could all cram into there.
I'd prefer that, because from what it sounds like, we're either juggling post-rescue safety versus getting there in time. I'd rather get in there in time and then worry about what we're doing after we've gotten them off the big death ship, you know?
Okay.
Because falling 500 feet from a weird small light craft is not as bad as falling the world from a giant spacecraft. We can figure that out.
Okay. So you take a very small craft. They've got an uplink that they're routing through to Gastone's station. It's not routed like there's an engineer working on that routing while you're tracking the ship, while John is flying ahead of the rescue mission.
Secondarily, mate, I've been doing this a lot, but you gave me this spell, so I'm going to keep using it as often as I can. As they're on their way over, John pops his tea and has a premonitory vision to see the success of their mission.
All right, drop the spell in chat.
Dropping the spell in chat.
Okay, ask a question.
As everything currently stands, like again, without any changes or any weird last minute swooping ins, as far as John knows from what he's been told up there, is this ship going to crash and burn, or will it survive? I guess his question is, will this ship stay intact and land safely upon reentry?
Every possible advantage except one has been granted. The ship's fate hinges in the atmosphere. The crew's fate is in your hands.
Better than most.
John, when he wakes from his vision, when they're like en route, he messages Gastone and says, I think we've got this.
I mean,
I'm confident. I'm confident.
Okay, great. Are you in the air yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm high as
Asena, on the ship, as it continues to go through, the fire builds up. Is no longer little. It's just this, like the bottom of the ship is just burning. And that fire continues to roar and the ship is shuddering. The fire completely consumes the cockpit to the point that all you can see if you look straight up is just a little circle, a little tiny circle of dark space. And everything else is just fire as you're undergoing re-entry. Barakai is going to make another skill check to keep the ship from tumbling and from going in too steep. This one is at advantage because of the information that was piped up from the planet's surface.
Hey, mate.
Yes?
I have one more question when you're available.
What is it?
You know how like spells have a very obvious, this is what the spell does.
Mhm.
Is it possible to like change it a little bit, or does that require stuff?
The way that this works is you pitch me and then I set a price. You know,
Well, I was just wondering.
I encourage creativity, but it's the classic thing where you're like, what's your rate? What's your budget?
Yeah. So I guess what I'm wondering is, like, let's say for instance, you had a spell that normally is supposed to hurt people.
Mhm.
Like, let's just say it summons, I don't know, like a mass of writhing tentacles from the void of undeath. And normally it beats the crap out of people, but I'm wondering if you were able to channel it properly, if you could have those tentacles just surround and encase you and a bunch of people that you care about. So if somehow,
You're gonna make.
well, I'm just saying, like, if a ship happens to go down, could you summon a bunch of giant, writhing, horrible death tentacles?
So the nature of that spell ties into some otherworldly powers that are just mindless and crave destruction and are very hard to control. The way that the mage basically just opens up this portal, and the thing emerges from the portal, and the mage just keeps it constrained, maintains its presence, and keeps it constrained. But otherwise, it targets everything. So it would be a very advanced arcane maneuver to bend it to your will and put more restraints on it. Essentially, I charge you inspiration and an arcana check.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, in that case, because it's using the same elements, but in a way that doesn't jive with the normal like logic of the spell, it would have to be a really good wizard to make it do it that way.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Barakai is just sitting there. I am a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar. And bringing it in and nice and smooth, going in nice and smooth. It doesn't feel super smooth at the moment. To Asena, who's never done this before. Hara has also never done this before, but he's constantly adjusting his levels, pivoting, manipulating the deflector shields, and doing a fantastic job. Gastone, you're tracking their progress. They are on a perfect trajectory right now. Optimal for safety, optimal for landing on the target.
Nice. That's great. I'm gonna just immediately pass that information on to John. Just tell him, hey, everything's looking good. Make sure you do the loop and
roll a science check to give John good directions.
Here it is.
I'm stress eating.
12.
All right. 500 feet. So I feel good about 12.
that's not a huge margin. Yeah, that's a sufficient margin for error, right?
Yeah.
John, because the thing does autopilot, you can see its coordinates, its flight path, like updating in real time.
How do I feel about this? I mean, I'm not a dunce, you know, I'm right up there with Gastone in terms of, you know, mental capacity. Like, do I feel like these are good? I trust Gastone. You know what? I trust Gastone.
Good man. Good man. All right.
Gucci.
Asena, is there anything you want to do as you're going to spend 30 minutes in this ship just going through the atmosphere?
I don't know.
Okay. It's
She's
like
she was thinking about firing the gun, but decides better not.
this is like
It
if
might
you're
be your only chance.
stuck on a flight with a bunch of strangers going through just like landing in a thunderstorm with hardcore turbulence, and nobody wants to say that they think they're going to die, but everyone's wondering if they're going to die, and nobody's talking to each other as you, Lynn, and Hara are just like holding on, hoping that this Exarchate guy knows what he's doing. Speaking of which,
Wow. That guy sounds like he knows what he's doing.
holy crap!
Dude, he's rocking this. Absolutely. He should believe in himself more often.
That's what I was saying.
Asena's
Was it,
speech was way more effective than advertised.
Yeah.
I think, you know, Asena, as you're watching him, like he started out just panicked and freaking out, but he's in the flow state now. He's doing what he's trained. It's not what he's trained to do, but he's applying his mind to a peak challenge, and he's almost just not going through the motions, but there's a rhythm to it. He's completely tuned in. He's fading out everything else, doing all the calculations, processing it. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
I think she would normally like try to talk to him, but
Mhm.
he's like into his thing and doesn't want to distract him. I'll probably just like look at is Lynn's nearby, is she?
Yeah, you're all in the cockpit.
Oh yeah, she's right there.
I should move Hara because you have that chair.
Yeah,
and
I do.
she's standing in between everybody.
I'll kind of just like quietly like point at him and do like some like thumbs ups.
Hara does
Hey.
the not bad.
Mate,
Yes.
we're all being really gutsy about this, and I love our plan and all, but can I make a quick intelligence check about what
Oh
I
my
remember of
gosh.
Hara?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to roll this first, and you can tell me if I would know this or not. Does John know, or did John teach Hara, the gosh dang diddly darn featherfall spell?
Hara does not have the Featherfall spell.
God, okay. It's fine.
I like how worried you are. Everything's gonna be fine.
Oh no. This is awesome. I'm just realizing that there is a first level spell that completely takes away a lot of the peril of this entire mission. And John realizes his trajectory and all that stuff is fantastic. As long as he can get on the ship, he realizes everyone's gonna be fine.
All right.
Maybe this is the moment you realize that like we need more training.
Let's get down to business.
It has been 20 minutes. Barakai is basically doing this all by himself. He had inspiration, he had telemetry information, but that information is no longer like up to date because he's been traversing the atmosphere. Every check represents 5 minutes of Atmo,
Oh God.
and he needs to get through 6 checks. If he can get through 6 checks and nail all of them, perfect landing.
What does a 20 do?
Wow.
An extremely perfect landing.
Okay.
Insofar as the ship would normally be taking like plasma damage and all that stuff and going slightly off course even under best case circumstances, but he's had 2 natural 20s, so he's been like he's very close to perfectly on track.
How many rolls has he made so far? Is
4.
That 5? He's made
4. I want to give the 3 of you a chance if there's anything else that you want to do during this time before I just keep doing. Because again, this is like the longest 30 minutes of. I don't know if it's the longest 30 minutes of your life, but it certainly feels like it. because you can't talk to them. You can't do anything. It's just, you're here.
Mate, was that 8 and 18? Was that his advantage? Was that his first advantage roll?
Yeah. So he's got an 18, 2 20s, and a 15 so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, he's rocking.
Barakai's killing this. He's also killing the tension, but honestly, he's earned it.
Yeah, seriously.
He was press ganged into taking the ship to space, and now he's realizing he's a better pilot than he thought.
Yeah, he doesn't need no machine.
Does anybody want to run interference before another 5 minutes go by?
I'm following Gastone's preconceived guidelines, so I'm just
Okay.
waiting for my turn if everything goes wrong.
I don't think Asena wants to fuck it up.
Okay. 8. The ship shudders and jolts as some of the panels start to fly off. The deflector shields go offline, and it picks up a slight wobble. As it's nearing, it's burning off tons and tons of momentum. It's not about like getting through a certain layer of the atmosphere. It's about burning off enough momentum to lose that. The next step is he needs to do a number of huge S turns to burn off even more momentum. This is the part where it's the most dangerous, where there's the highest chance of losing control. And as he starts those maneuvers, it wiggles, it wobbles quite a bit. And a warning light is going off. That's a starboard stabilizer.
But
The ship is shaking. He's lost one of the stabilization fields on the right-hand side of the ship.
well, that's not good.
Nope. That means he's going to make his next check at disadvantage.
But chat just gave him inspiration.
But chat just gave him inspiration. All right. We're doing it. A flat check. 9. Okay. Gastone, you've got new readings. They are losing speed rapidly, but in the last few maneuvers, they've picked up a steep angle, and they're veering off course. Roll a new science check to calculate the new trajectory.
Ooh.
9 total.
Hmm.
You are not totally confident. Because when the plasma, like, it's surrounded by this huge ball of plasma, and it was doing maneuvers, and the plasma is like hard to read. It's amorphous. It's not a single solid object.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it hard for you to tell the orientation of the craft, which makes it hard for you to predict the aerodynamics, which makes it hard for you to predict the pathway. You are not 100% confident with its current trajectory.
I see. I would like to re-roll then with an inspiration, if that
Okay.
is okay with Mr. DM.
Absolutely. Mark off 1 inspiration.
I
Done
believe in you.
and done.
Natural 1. It's
Not
just
a halfling, are you?
nope. It is
Is-
not working. You don't know where you're landing.
Can I guess? or as I'd like to say, an educated guess.
Estimate.
So
Guesstimate. I actually thought of that.
a guess would be like an insight check, I think. You're trusting your gut, not your brain.
Gastone, use the force.
You have inspiration to use your TI-84.
I don't know what that is, but thank you. I will use that as well. I'm
Okay.
gonna try once more.
What?
So you're going to roll with advantage an insight check to see if you can just heart of the cards this.
Oh my gosh.
Advantage.
17.
Ooh.
All right. This is the sort of thing where instead of just like updating the system, you just be on the line with John saying, set your speed to this and go that way.
Yeah.
I'm here
Alright.
for it. I was actually going to ask if I could do that. So this is exactly
Sweet.
on course.
There is a sonic boom as the craft comes into sight, a streak of fire through the atmosphere. Shaking, maybe spiraling a little bit. Asena, you can now see through the haze of fire. The fire is starting to lessen bit by bit, and you can see the mountains. They're coming up pretty fast.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry I stuck you. You went on the space mission and you have no space skills.
I love it.
Mate, can I have one little little backup moment?
What?
I have the unseen servant as a ritual. Could I have cast that prior, like while we're on our way to the site?
The inside of a hover vehicle is not optimal conditions for casting that spell. It's distracting. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yes. Constitution saving throw. A natural one.
Well, you were ritual casting it, so you didn't burn any spell points, but
I'm going to use a luck point. I'm gonna accept it as it is.
All right. No cataclysmic failure, but you're trying to like set up the ritual and put everything down and recite the words, and then some like boop, boop, a notification pops up. The vessel changes course as Gastone enters in a new trajectory. It's just extremely distracting. Asena,
No worries.
was there anything you wanted to do? You can see Barokai, he's no longer in that like smooth, focused place he was before. He's going back to hyperventilation. There's a lot of things going on his console.
Yeah. Regarding the red warning light,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's nothing.
That's a proximity warning. The right stabilizer is down. If I can't get us out of this spiral, we're gonna hit with the impact of a tactical strike.
Okay, but we have other options, and that improves our probability of surviving.
Asena, roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
As you're calmly reciting things about probability and the like.
She has no idea what that actually is. She's just like picked it up from her counterparts.
I learned it by
what am
watching
I-
you.
what am I-
Persuasion.
Persuasion. That starts with a P.
13.
Decent.
Okay. He is, as he's just activating the retro rockets and trying to get it stabilized as much as possible, the plasma field around the ship begins to degrade. You're starting to get telemetry information from the ship again, Gastone. The connection is reestablished. You have some trajectory information. Gastone, roll a science check for me.
What are the twos? What's with the twos?
So many twos.
9. You are not sure if they are going to crash into the side of the mountain because they shallowed out too much to burn off speed, and now they're going to like impact the side of a mountain, or if they're going to whisk between two of the peaks and pull into the J-turn they need in order to pull off a safe landing. You are not positive.
Where's John during all of this? Is he
Chasing
not
after,
close
he's
enough?
like flying up towards them.
We
Am
don't
I
John,
see
close
him,
enough
right?
yet? What's going on here?
the science checks are part of what determines at what point you get up there.
I
So-
see.
well, I
Then
mean, am I
I
able to
would-
help with any of that?
Yeah, you can
I
make
would
a.
like to throw an inspiration into the lot again.
All right, go ahead and throw another inspiration in and roll again.
Because I was gonna say I probably have an idea if like this is seeming to
15.
work or not.
All right, at the last minute, you get a new intercept solution. John, do you have a skill for piloting this thing, or are you running it fully on auto?
Well, I mean, for now I'm running it fully on auto, but I mean,
Alright.
I am proficient with land vehicles, not with
Okay,
military grade air vehicles. However, I'm
part of the
also-
cards then.
Well, I was gonna say I'm also a jack of all trades, so I'm just pretty good at just about anything I do. So.
Okay, roll
Wow.
a jack of all trades dexterity check to try with the new solution to like take the controls and dramatically ramp up and go on an intercept course before setting it back to auto.
Okay,
8.
that would be an 8. However, that's not sticking because I'm luckier than I am good at things. So I'm gonna burn a second luck die.
All right, go for it.
Come on, buddy. Let's not kill all these people. Let's not...
22.
That's much better.
All right.
I'm happy with that.
So you actually set the wrong trajectory for it, but as it turns out, it was a mirage caused by the plasma dissipating. So what you thought, you ended up making the wrong call, which accidentally ended up being the right call.
Hey, I'm cool for it. You know what?
All right. You are going to intercept with 30 seconds to spare. That's 5 rounds.
Easy. That's all we need.
The ship is continuing. The fire is gone, but it's slamming you from left to right, up and down, pivoting like crazy, Asena. John's on the radio. Gastone's on the radio. There's a whole lot of talking. Hara says, okay, everyone, get ready. We're getting off this bird.
Remember, no thoughts.
Hara opens her mouth as if to say something and then shuts it. John, what do you do?
John's going to send, because I'm not there yet, right?
Right, but you're going to arrive. We're moving to the part where you arrive with 5 rounds to spare.
John is going to send a message to Amanda.
To Lynn?
To Lynn, sorry. I thought Amanda was the one on the ship. My apologies. To
Nope,
Lynn.
it's all good. It's Lynn.
Let me just knock down 5 spell points real quick. Okay. I'm going to send a message. Lynn, it's John. Would a smaller ship that weighs about half as much be easier for Bear to bring it into landing? You can respond. The first 25 words. 25 words or less.
I have no idea how to respond to this. Smaller ship? Move him to it? Make ship smaller?
That's what she tells me.
Yes.
The tech magician, Lynn, can't. Okay, you know what? Fine. Yeah.
The answer matters to the calculations, because if you're literally shrinking the ship and the ship is going to lose mass mid-flight, that's going to drastically change all the physics and stuff.
Yeah, but she didn't say that, did she? PM.
That's why she asked a series of questions. Smaller ship, shrink this ship, cut ship in half, all with question marks on them.
He responds, sends another damn message. Yes, shrinking the ship via magic. Would it work? Is it feasible?
Complicated. Could still explode. Reducing mass mid-flight, not a calculation I think he can make. John, your ship communicator opens up and Hara says, hi.
Hi, how are you?
You can just use this. That's fine.
Yeah, my God didn't tell me I had that, so
sorry. Yeah, no, you have local comms. You can take back one of those sending spells.
I'll take back one of them, man.
Yeah, the plasma is gone. Your ship has comms. Hara has a comm link that's working now because you're in range. But essentially, if you shrink the ship, I have no idea how the physics on that works.
It's a game about magic and dragons, and I don't think you should worry about it too much.
The one thing I know is that it would drastically change how everything works, and it would be a lower DC at disadvantage, if that makes sense.
That's well,
also, are you capable of shrinking the ship and everyone inside it?
Well, I'm assuming this giant ship should still be a pretty big ship, even when we shrink it. It's gonna be half as big. So if everybody who isn't the pilot moves to the cargo area where there's, a lot of space, even a ship half this size would still be a ship. So I would assume it would still be okay. But I think that's your call.
Give me 1 sec.
Also, secondary question. I have a tech ability that allows me to unscramble EMPs on an object that's been hit with an EMP. If I got to the ship and used that, would I be able to bring back the tracking information?
Yes.
So here's my wonderful question here. When we get on the ship, I've got 5 rounds. Would I be able to, A, make sure that I can help Hara get everyone off safely? B, unfutz the ship, and then C, shrink the ship and have it autopilot itself the rest of the way while we're all safely out of there? Is that possible?
You could try that.
I want to try that then. That's my
Okay.
plan. Okay.
As I hear like Lynn talking and Hara talking,
Mm.
Sena's like, is he changing the plan again? Is he we come up with the plan and he's changing the plan. This always happens.
You can hear over Hara's like communicator that she's open. You just hear Asena's voice saying this over the side.
I'm not even going to identify that response. John's about to like just, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Your 5-round window is now. You may attempt any or all of those things. Round 1. Gastone, is there anything you want to do from where you are? Aside from, do you want to just pilot the vessel? Is there anything else you want to try to do?
I think piloting the vessel is probably all I can really do right now. At this point, it's kind of on John.
Okay.
No, I thought it was 5 rounds when I got on the ship. It's 5 rounds from like this point.
Basically, there's going to be a point where in 5 rounds, the ship will hit the ground and explode or land successfully. That point is the round where you are going to be on an intercept course and be able to make contact.
I see. Okay. Well, you let me know as soon as I can do that.
As soon as you decide, now, actually, yeah, we're doing it now. So Gastone is remotely manipulating the rescue ship. John.
We're doing it live. Yep. John has everything on autopilot and he dimension doors onto the ship.
All right. He steps through a portal and just appears. Where are you going to target? The cockpit? You can kind of see the ship. You don't exactly have full, layout of it, but you can see the cockpit.
Is my vision good enough to be able to see that there's a whole bunch of people like just crammed into the cockpit?
No, it's tinted.
John
it's actually got like gold foil and stuff inside there to protect it from electromagnetic rays and shit.
John's not stupid. Hold on a second. Let me check the description of this spell. Because I'm pretty sure bad stuff happens if I teleport on somebody. So just give me a second here.
I think it's pretty common knowledge that we'd be in the cockpit.
Yeah. John, okay. As we're doing on the support approach, considering how quick this all needs to be, John's going to tell them all to give him a window in the cockpit. So make sure everyone's like against the walls, out of the way, and he's going to teleport straight to the center of the cockpit. Like basically, like either where Hara is or right behind where Hara is. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
fine. That spot's where he's going.
Cool. Yep. That spot will be clear for you when you dimension door in.
Okay, John teleports in.
All right. You are here now. Congratulations.
A big old blue oval. Yeah, oval. Appears in the center space of this cockpit and outsteps John.
Oh, hey, John.
Hey, how's it going? We have a lot of stuff to do and very little time to do it in. Everybody, you, Barrington, whatever, autopilot this thing, please, right now.
Autopilot's borked.
Not for long. And John snaps his fingers. And
is that a bonus action or an action?
I'm going to double check. I'm pretty sure it's a bonus action, but let me double check for you. Recovery program. Technomancy program. Signal boost as a bonus action. Alternatively, if an EMP has affected a constructed vehicle or has suppressed wireless capabilities for a machine, you can negate the effect for that system.
Okay, so use your action to teleport in and your bonus action to use tech magic to clear the EMP effects, right?
Correct.
Okay. Barakai sees everything go online, hits the necessary switches, and fires up the nav computer again.
Nice. Can he safely do re-entry now, or?
The computer is taking control at like the last possible second. He is visibly relieved. The moment you do that, and as the mountains loom closer and the ship goes from left to right, the entire horizon shifts back and forth, Barakai calmly says, "Everything's going to be fine."
There you go, Bear. Now you're believing in yourself.
John looks around the cockpit. Are we still doing the get out of jail free card, or are we going to try and land this thing?
Do we trust him? Do we believe
Who?
him? Barakai.
John?
This is a decide now thing. Ahara looks down at Asena. She has one hand on your shoulder and the other hand ready to cast Dimension Door to just teleport out.
I was
John-
told to have no thoughts.
Where are the exit doors?
The exit doors are, in case of
Is it this right
emergency,
here?
the exit doors are here, everywhere. Yeah, they're the airlock is just immediately outside the cockpit.
Okay, so it is those two areas. Okay, very good. Okay. Well, as soon as it's the next round, John casts Featherfall on everybody in here
Okay.
and says, "Why don't we give Bear a chance? If all goes to hell, jump out of the ship. You've all got magical parachutes on."
Magical parachutes.
Yep.
What's that?
It means, oh, yeah, sorry. If you jump out of the plane, you're going to fall like as if you were a feather instead of falling as if you were a person.
Oh.
So you'll be safe.
What do you think, Bear? You ready to land this thing?
Yes. I have a landing trajectory all set. Barakai is now moving just completely calm, barely adjusting anything. The ship is self-correcting for the error on the right-hand side, the repulsor field that's malfunctioned. It's now in a wide curve. Gastone, you can track that it's going off of its original trajectory. It's doing calculations at an impossible rate to completely adapt for environmental turbulence, current damage, the number of people on board, so on and so forth. It rapidly smooths out and sort of flies up over the mountain it was going to hit and is going into a gentle landing procedure.
All right then.
Asena will say to John, I think this will be good for Bear's confidence if he lands the ship.
Yeah, I gathered. What's up with this guy? Who the hell is he?
It sounds like he's a bit brainwashed.
I'm going to make an insight check.
Okay. Roll insight.
21.
21. Give me a moment here.
Does he look like Exarch? Does he smell like Exarch? Does he taste like
He's
Exarch?
wearing like Exarch gear.
Okay.
He's clearly a member of the Exarchate. Like that's
Yep.
without question.
Yeah, no, John. Okay, John has an idea what's going on here. John leans in did you kidnap him?
I thought about it. I didn't. Hara did.
Are we kidding? John brings Hara into this little private are we kidnapping him? Are we?
He's the one who knew how to get this thing into space.
John looks at Hara and glares for a half a second and then smiles, putting a hand on her shoulder. You pulled a Carmichael.
Oh my god.
You forcefully press somebody into service and use their skills for your own benefit. And he clasps her back hey, that's progress.
Her
John turns
muscles,
to Asena. I pushed it a little too far.
her muscles tense, like where you're holding. You clapped her on the back, right?
I clapped her on the shoulder for a second and then slapped her back because I am not going to continue touching her.
Okay. Electricity arcs around her fingertips. And for a moment, the shadow that she casts from the machine's artificial light grows before going back to normal.
Asena will think for a moment.
No, head empty.
No. Oh, now you don't want me to think. No, John. We rescued him from his tyrants and are freeing him and unlocking his potential.
John? Barakai is not acting normally. He's acting too normally.
Is he taking us back to Exarch?
No, he's landing. He's landing the
Oh.
vessel.
Okay.
But he's behaving exactly correctly. Like his micro expressions, his body temperature, everything is 100% what you would expect. And if it was anybody but you, that'd be fine. You know, it wouldn't be, of course, he's normal. But like on the dot, normal biosigns.
So he went from being really freaked out to like he's totally cool again.
Mm-hmm.
Like in an instant.
Yes. The ship finds a relatively flat space, deploys the landing gear, spins a little bit as it goes down. The Vosky dropship is inbound. Gastone, you're patched in on all of this.
Mate, as we start landing, we're safe, right? We're doing landing procedures. Mm-hmm. John uses a technomagic ability to zap the ship with an EMP again.
Okay. Are you waiting for it to touch down before you do that?
I'm waiting for him to go through all his procedures to where we're locked into a landing. And so you said we had a few rounds till impact. I'm giving him the smallest parameters possible and then disconnecting him from whatever he was connected to.
Okay.
I'm using the pulse ability. As an action, I can cause an EMP to hit all machine constructs and vehicles within 30 feet of that point.
All right, the ship is like 5 feet from the ground. The landing gear is 5 feet from the ground or so. When you proc this EMP, the lights go out from the inside and the ship falls the rest of the way. Clunk!
Whoa.
Nobody takes any damage, but you deploy that. Lynn winces. And Gastone, you've lost all comms with the team.
Oh, shit.
Roll an insight check, John.
I'm going to do you one better in a second, but yeah, I'll roll the insight check.
Okay.
Where's my insight? Here's my insight. Wha-bam.
27. Okay.
Woo!
Biosigns are back to irregular. John, what the hell?
Real quick, when I have a technical round after activating that ability, John wants to pop detect thoughts.
Okay. That gives you surface thoughts, right?
Unless I probe, correct.
And everyone's surface thoughts or just the target?
I believe I have to focus on them. Here, let me drop it in chat real quick.
Mm-hmm. As your action, and when you cast a spell, focus it on one creature.
I'm focused on bear.
Okay. Roll an intelligence check. The thoughts.
Also, what
Go
were
ahead.
you going to tell me about the insight check?
The insight check was just he went from being completely perfectly regulated back to being like, wow. This is jumbled. It's a huge amount of brain activity, and if you weren't a technomage, you'd be missing half of it, because Barokai is cybernet. He's got cybernetics, including parts of his brain. Not all of it, but parts of his brain are cybernetic. So if you were just using magic, you'd only be reading half the story, and the other half is incredibly complicated. A massive data transfer just occurred and is still being processed. As for his organic thoughts, it's what just happened?
I'm going to ask him, hey, Bear, when we activated the ship and you were initiating launch procedures, did you hack into, or rather, did you jack into the ship? Were you setting up some kind of connectivity back to the mother base? I'm just asking him questions to get him to start thinking. I'm not expecting him to answer out loud. I don't need his voice for this.
No, that's fine.
I'm kind of trying to rapid fire gumshoe questions to get him to think about what his response is. And I'm not even looking for him to respond, even if he's like kind of garbled from like a barrage of questions. I just want him to think about them so that way in that moment, his thoughts kind of come to pass.
Okay, for a moment he was connected to Exarch and he felt like everything was safe, and now he's not, and he's wondering what's going on. That is what half of him is thinking.
And
The other half is
We bear you no ill will. We wish to speak with you. We can help each other.
Hey, Bear, you were great, by the way. I end the connection. I put my hands on his shoulder, and I don't think I have a way of really helping him. Well, nah, I'm going to offer that if he wants it later, but I'm not going to do it now without his permission. So, yeah, I'm just going to, as
Asena, as John is doing this, Asena and John, Lynn draws a gun on Barakai.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Well, did you? Did you phone home, you bastard? Did you sell us out?
You snitched on us, Bear?
John interposes himself between Lynn and Barakai. I have no idea who Barakai is. Lynn is a very close friend, and much like John always does, he throws himself in these stupid situations. And he puts a hand up, not like, don't do it, but as kind of a, let's just take a moment. I don't think it was his fault, Lynn.
Roll persuasion check, John.
And I go on to explain, just to kind of hopefully modify my check in case it goes tits up. Much like you once were, he's a sheep amongst a great horde of androids plugged into. I'm trying to make a reference to a book I once read. He's dreaming of crap. Look, it's not his fault, I don't think. Let's just take a moment, all right?
All right. Well, that is not going to modify your persuasion check. But give me one anyways.
Yeah.
25.
Wow. Hey, it worked just fine, I think.
All right. She puts the gun away and like gets up and like, God damn it!
I've hit the ship with an EMP. If they do have some kind of communications, it should be dark for a while. We can bring it back up once we're ready. They just want to get in contact with us.
Once we've torn this thing apart, taken out every single transmitter on it. Look, if he connected for a second, they could have our global positioning information.
He was connected for a lot longer than a second. It was probably about. I mean, what was your plan if the MP didn't knock that all out?
We had a lot of plans, and connecting was not one of them. We talked about it.
Oh. Well, no one told me that. Damn it. My apologies.
Wait, you did that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was. Bear, I think you could have done it without that help. Just saying.
Well, he was great. I mean, he did it all on his own for the first, 20 minutes? 30 minutes? I mean, that was a long time.
Yeah. We would have survived. We might have been a little banged up, but we would have survived, and you didn't need any of that junk.
Lynn moves away from the area of effect and finally like deionizes a communicator. Gastone, you lost everything, right? You lost all connectivity to the site, as if the ship almost successfully landed and then exploded when the EMP went off. What would Gastone have done when that happened?
That's a great question. Is Chester still following me around?
Where is Chester?
Well, here's the thing. I did pump Chester off when I teleported back. However, once we were regrouped again, yeah, you would have had Chester back again.
Okay.
All right, so Chester would be there.
So I'm just gonna look over to Chester and be like, "Well, you're still here, so at least John is fine, right?"
Wow.
Sorry, I forgot you're Chester.
No, you can be Chester too. That's fine.
Can you connect with John right now? Do you know? Is he okay?
Chester can't backfeed, as far as I know.
I thought I could talk to you through Chester, but
Correct.
he will just meow at me.
Well, no, so I think you think that, but the way it technically works is that when I jack into Chester, I can hear you back and forth just fine, and we came up with a way of him like scratching at you to kind of communicate simple ideas. But yeah, no, when you talk to Chester, he keeps on them. He holds on to that information, and the next time he sees John, he goes, "Hey, I got an email from Gastone."
Well, I don't really have time for however long that's going to take. Shit.
You still have contact with the Vosky dropship. They're expecting to get eyes in 30 seconds.
John's gonna fix the because his EMP wipes out everything within 30 feet. But he fixes the comms, like everyone's like the Asenas.
You
and
just
like,
use. How many times can you use that ability?
I have quite a few. I've only used it twice so far, and I have how many points? Where's my techno magic points? One moment, please.
What? While he's looking that up, Asena, what are you doing? Lynn just stormed off. Barakai is sort of coming down from the adrenaline rush and from temporarily being connected to a godlike intellect.
I'll go follow Lynn.
Okay. Lynn is walking away and working on her communicator and she has like a set of tools and she's replacing bits and pieces that got ionized.
So, you want to blow it up?
The ship?
Usually my answer to things is to punch it, kill it, blow it up.
I think you're the only one of these people who actually makes any sense, Asena.
Wow.
No, it's dangerous, but we have to keep it. We got to keep it, or at least take it apart and see what we can learn from it.
Oh yeah, we could like learn their weaknesses and stuff.
Exactly. You know, the Vosky, what they could do with this, what this is going to be worth to them. No, we have to keep it on lock so it can't connect back to Exarch, but no blowing it up, not yet.
5 uses, by the way.
Copy. So you are able to after that exchange happens outside the ship, unless Asena wanted to respond before we turn the comms back on.
She'll end the conversation. Well, we'll blow something else up.
Oh yeah, we will. She's still upset, but she is somewhat cheered up. Gastone, the rescue dropship gets eyes on the vessel, and they report that they detected an electromagnetic wave, but haven't picked up an explosion. They get eyes, and you get a visual feed, like the helicopter drone feed, essentially, right when John deionizes comms, and comms come back online.
Hey, sorry, that was me. I'm precaution.
For what? What happened? I thought you guys blew up.
Well, no, the pilot was calling back to the Exarch, so I wanted to just kind of.
He was doing what?
I don't think it was his fault. I'm pretty sure he has some kind of automated response once the systems came back. I turned the systems back online. Hey, by the way, I can fix EMPs. That's fun. Anyway, how are you?
What? Wait. So what's happening now? You guys are coming back, right?
Yeah. No. We a little bit of a rough landing, but right now we're just kind of the ship is tense. We're getting ready to disembark. You want to come join us?
What about the Exarch? Does he know where you are?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, he at least knows where this is. As long as we leave the ship off, if we tow it somewhere, they shouldn't be able to find us.
How long would it take him to get there or to send people?
Well, how long did it take them to, well, that was Lynn. Honestly, probably not long. How far away are we from the Vosky capital?
We got a lot of very nice rolls during that process. So let me clear some of my tabs and take us back to the master map.
The master map. Because it took us a while to get out here. We should be pretty far away.
Mm-hmm. It took you like an hour, half an hour or so. So you're probably not more than like 180 miles away. Because you also had to go up, right? And that would take in a lot of energy as well. I'm going to say you're like 200 miles out off the Vosky city.
Okay. Well, the Exarch's not far. But it would still take them, even if they made a beeline here, it would still take them days. And also, they're not going to start a war.
Days?
Yeah, we're far away.
All right, so an aircraft can move, like a modern day aircraft can move over 200 miles an hour. So that'd be 7 hours for a normal commercial airplane.
What, you said it
Yeah.
was days when we were going from one to the other?
On ground vehicles.
No, when we were in the air here before we got hit.
Nope. That was a couple hours. Like when you guys first got here and you went from the portal to here,
Yeah.
that was a few hours, dude.
Okay.
It was
I
a
thought you
few
said it was
hours, then you got hit, then you got picked up by Lynn's convoy, which is on ground. That took like a day maybe or more
Okay.
because you were going much slower.
Well, then they could be here in a day. But again, it would probably be a envoy or a scout. They're not going to send an entire Exarchate. The Exarch doesn't do that. They don't invade. They accept. They expand. We're not getting attacked. But they do want to talk to us, though. I think we should probably sit down and have a team meeting about this for sure.
The recovery team is overjoyed to find, and they're starting to like set down, right? The loader mechs are coming out. They're expecting to be scrapping the thing. They're not scrapping the thing. It's intact. They want it operational, at least like on basic thrusters, so that it can be brought back. But first, they're gonna try to strip out its transmission capability. They're basically, unless they're stopped, the technicians are going to start swarming over this thing to put it in safe mode so they can get it back to base.
Yeah, once it's in safe mode, John can lift the EMP he threw on there to make it easier to pilot and whatnot.
Yeah. All right, cool. So they're going to start just going in, taking it apart. Lynn kind of gets over things, goes back inside. Unless stopped, they are going to take Barakai into custody.
John looks to Hara and Asena. Is that okay with you?
Don't kill him or torture him.
I mean, I kind of like the guy, but he is our hostage.
I thought you said you didn't kidnap him.
Hara's hostage.
It was fly or die.
Yeah, we needed to get in the door, and he was the one that was like, it was just tech support. I didn't know it was that complicated.
John, before they take him into custody, John approaches Bear. I'm going to drop a deduction dice on this. John's going to look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Can we trust you? At the first chance you get, are you going to try and phone home? Or do you understand that you're on a mission of God in order to help the repressed peoples of Lacunas, and that you're just one part to play in the grand scheme of things? Basically, what I'm asking is, would you rather be in jail or would you rather walk around with us?
I'm not going to do anything. They're going to find you. No, I'm sorry. That was a little ominous. They're going to reach out to you. They're going to be in touch with you. They're going to communicate with you in a peaceful, humanity-focused fashion. Oh, I'm no good at this diplomacy stuff.
I'm not. Don't worry about it. We're not here for that. Trust me, I say stupid shit all the time. Look, tell me right now, face to face, man to man, whatever you are. If I bring you with us, you're not going to screw us, right? Either intentionally or unintentionally. You're going to keep yourself unjacked up, whatever.
Yes. No, I'm not. I'm the one where everything's fine and I don't die.
And I'm adding a 1d8 to this. I didn't roll it properly.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
23.
I'm going to do a GM roll just for deception here. He seems sincere and his responses seem organic.
And again, just to clarify, what was his response?
It
sounded like, you know.
I'm not going to connect to the Exarch. I'm not going to sabotage you. I'm a prisoner of war. Don't hurt me.
No. Not a. We're not at war here. There's a bit of an armistice.
There is no
and
war in the Vosky city. Here, we are
Oh,
safe.
God.
Here, we
Look.
are free.
Nobody is looking to put you in some kind of camp or anything like that. Don't worry about it. Look, John kind of assesses the people who've come to claim him. The hero of the Vosky Battle of the Mountain, yada, 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 requests that this person stays in his... Look, I'll take responsibility for him. Can you just tell Vosky that?
We shall alert high command.
Yeah, you do that. All right, so I kind of...
Glory to the Vosky household.
Glory for the Vosky. John kind of grabs Bear by the arm, not roughly, but he definitely like kind of yoinks him back towards their group. And I kind of shove him next to Asena. Okay, I said I was going to cover for him, but he's your problem. You guys grabbed him, so, you know, if he fucks up, that's on me. So don't put that shit on me, okay?
I think I understand.
John sends a whisper to Asena. See what you can do. This guy seems to respond well to you. Try to butter him up. See if you can kind of get him on our side of things.
Well, I tried. I think, okay.
Oh, it's not an accusation. John says out loud, it's not an accusation. It's just, you do you. You got this. Don't...
What?
Head empty. Don't think. Just do. You do your best thinking when you're doing. So keep doing that.
Keep doing the thinking.
Yes. By doing.
Hara just taps against the nearest surface.
Huh?
Not, she's just tapping, not impatiently, but
John, like,
Don't
kinda,
worry. If Bear does anything bad, I'll punch him.
there you go. You hear that,
But
Bear?
Bear won't do anything bad because he's our friend.
he takes one look at Asena's just absolutely ripped biceps and yep, okay, yep.
Well, he probably saw her punching literal robots to death.
Yeah.
John kind of leans over to Hara. Hey.
She just gives you a look.
Come on, that was pretty good, right?
Let's get moving.
Come on, teacher. Are you going to give me a grade? I like shout out after her.
You're not one of my students.
John kind of mutters under his breath. Yeah, but you were one of mine.
Damn, well, I was going to do some other stuff, but I kind of want to end it there. Gastone, essentially the way that the scene would end there, and there'd be a Star Wars wipe cut to the ship back at Vosky High Command. From your perspective, Gastone, after you got back on the comm with everybody, there's just absolute excitement in the control center and a flurry of activity. You were sort of running things with their support in order to get John to point A to execute the rescue mission. But now that that's done, the engineers, the Vosky engineers, the war commanders and stuff, they've sort of swarmed in. They're taking over. They're issuing orders for locking down this thing's sensor, bringing it into custody, doing an analysis, sending out patrols for Exarch activity in the area. Just this hubbub of activity emerges around you, and you're sort of left out of it.
What time of day is it?
Evening, I think. I think it's dramatic if the sun was setting behind the ship as it was plummeting into the atmosphere.
Nice.
Gastone is going to bed.
Okay. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
All right.
I feel like, yeah, we're not going to ignore bedtime, but John definitely kind of before everybody goes off to their own quarters, he gets everyone together. And
Who's everyone?
the immediate, everyone but Bear.
Okay, so Lynn,
If she's in on it.
what is it? What's the subject line of this Outlook invitation?
Yeah, John brings Lynn, and he makes sure that Bear is nearby, but he kind of like brings everyone into the meeting room, tells Bear to go sit in a corner, and he does the weird like
He invokes the cone of silence.
yeah, he puts the cone of silence on.
All right. Was Gastone already asleep? Like, it takes them...
Yes.
All right. So does Gastone wake up to go to this meeting or no?
No.
Okay, my plan was to grab Gastone before he knocked out, but that's fine. Then he tells Hara, Asena, and Lynn, I don't think we've brought anybody else that I would consider like our people as of yet. There's a lot to go over. I really wish Gastone was here, so I'll not go over it right now. I'll just give us a briefing tomorrow. I think when we get up, we need to sit down and hash a lot of this out. He looks over to Hara. I think we need to reach out to our contacts in the area. We've got some people in the coalition who could be of use. I really think that we need to push this alliance between the other members of the principalities. A lot has happened just in the few days since we've been here. And I know that you have your quest that we need to continue on, Hara. And I want to make sure that I keep my promise to you, that we push ourselves toward that goal. That being said, like we said, it's been days and we just got what we needed from the Vignar. We've got to go back and help that girl. I mean, as far as we know, Florence could be dead already. So I really feel like we need to make that top priority, but I promise you this, I haven't forgotten, and we're going to get you back to Ashen. So does anybody have any ideas, or would you prefer to think on it tonight and we can kind of reassess in the morning?
Hara will say, I want Gastone here for this.
Exactly.
Yes. No. Ideas in the morning.
Okay.
Lynn
Well,
is
alright.
very confused by all of this. I think maybe she's been read in on some of it.
John will definitely take the time to catch her up if Hara wants to wait till tomorrow. I think out of character, I think this is a good time for Asena and John to do the thing that Asena was talking about. But other than that, John did want to rope Lynn into what's going on.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get this to a wrap-up point so that we can have everybody meet next time. Lynn has some priorities of her own. Hara wants to focus on the original objective. Gastone is sleeping. It's been a long day. He helped the ship not explode out of orbit. And what about Asena for the evening?
I think she's pretty excited. She's like, I went to space and I got back.
John wants to hear all about it.
Just as planned.
All right. There's conversations that go late into the night as everyone catches everyone up on everything else. And when we meet next time, our heroes will conclude their quest, perhaps. Figure out how they're going to get back home and save Florence. See how they're going to fulfill John's promise to Hara. Deal with the Exarch, following up on being connected to the ship in the heart of Voski territory. But what are they going to do with Barakai? All this and more next time on Coriander Society Adventures. Thank you, everybody.